Well, hey gang, this is just a brief update. Hope all of you are doing well. This last couple of weeks I've been back east. Really kind of a large, long trip. Difficult. It even felt worse than some of my international trips in terms of wear and tear on the old body. But anyway, did a red eye back to Maryland, then had to drive 7.5 hours to Dayton. Was a part of Connie Stutzman's conference there, which was really great. It was an excellent, excellent conference. And then from there to Toledo, I was with Calvin Sweeney and his lovely bride, and they've got some incredible things happening at the Tabernacle Church in Toledo, and they're going to be starting up one of our schools of ministry here in January. So again, very excited about that. I got to meet with Kathy Smith. She lives only about maybe 3 or 4 hours north of Toledo. So we met for lunch and did a little strategic planning. So that was good. And she's doing well. Health is good. But as always, keep all of us in prayer, as none of us are getting any younger. Anyway, from there I was off to see Joshua Reichard. We're going to talk more about that in Youngstown, Ohio. Josh and I spent most of the time together just developing some strategic plans. So I want to share some of our thoughts on that. And then from there was back to Maryland with Dr. Minot Gurley and the Tabernacle Church in Laurel, Maryland for our Harvest International Ministerial Fellowship Conference. Paul I was there, Timothy Hui, which has one of our schools in Myanmar or Burma. It was just a wonderful time, just a blessing. Tom Happel was there, got to spend some time with Tom, and just a good time of ministry with a brother named Doug Small, who I met 30 plus years ago. His whole emphasis on prayer, and of course we all know we need more prayer as a foundation for what we do in terms of ministry. Hey, coming up, I've got quite a few things going on. I just want to give you an idea of what's happening. In October, we're going to start our end-of-year launch for our end-of-year giving program. We've already heard from some key people that are going to be giving us some additional finances, which is going to help us significantly. Part of what we want to use it for is to finish some of the things we need to do here at our local facility, but also to do more advertising and just to have a more solid foundation for us to work from. So appreciate your prayers on the matching fund. Again, you're going to hear more information about that. Sometime mid-October, we're going to launch that. Also, just, travel is coming up tomorrow, which will be Thursday of this week, so you might not get this until afterwards. Joan and I are off to Iowa and then to South Dakota, be with Jack Moore on the Lakota Indian Reservation, preaching for him. I haven't seen Jack in a while, so I'm really looking forward to being there. Doing a lot of driving again. Back home, we'll be home for a week or so, and then off to Maryland again with Sean Murphy. And I'll be doing it's supposed to be a secret 30th anniversary thing. It's not much of a secret anymore, but I'll be there to preach and to help facilitate their 30th anniversary. So appreciate your prayers for that. Get home from there, off to Australia. Later on in the year, of course, I've still got Malaysia. Those are all graduations and leadership training and all that. So again, just appreciate your continued prayers for all of those things. Hey, we're working with a group out of Youngstown to redo the Vision webpage. That's what we've been waiting for before we launch our Charisma ad. And again, the Charisma ad is not going to go in the magazine. It's going in their online platform. It goes out to 165 or so thousand people that have shown an interest in charismatic Pentecostal studies. So we're just believing God that it's going to make a major impact. The goal is by the end of October to send that ad out, but we really needed to have the webpage redone. I mean, we're working on it. And what I've seen so far, it's going to be a much more interactive and dynamic web page. One of the things, though, that we need, and please help if you can, we need pictures of our key people in action on the field. So Gail Stathis and Paul I and you know who you are, all you folks around the world. Come on, we need some pictures, preferably decent looking ones, of you preaching, teaching, working with students. something to do with both the international, but also we need things for here in the United States. So if you've got pictures, if you could send them in, I sure would appreciate it. You can either send them to me or you could send them directly to Kathy Smith at ksmith@vision.edu. Anyway, so good things happening that way. Let me just share just briefly on some of the highlights of the strategic plan. I mean, one of the things that's been mandated of us over the years is to find a path to accredited awards. We do have that with Australia, and we're very grateful for our Australian partners. We also have a path using RPL, which is the recognition of prior learning, to take our students into City Vision University. We're also working on a very special plan, which if this comes through, it could really open up a lot of significant doors. It's related to Dr. Reichard and some of the things that he's doing. So I can't really share more about it, but it could be really, really exciting for us. So if you could just keep that in prayer, paths to accreditation. Now, my goal is over the next 5 years to make sure everything's in a solid place so that I can then move on to the next thing that I intend to do, whatever that is. In other words, I'm not talking about retiring because I don't see myself ever doing that. But I do want to get to the place where I can focus more on the promotion of the ministry, more writing, teaching, but probably less travel, more things done locally. In other words, I'm going to hopefully find someone that will take over the administrative functions of Vision over the next 5 years. So many of you key people are going to receive a copy of our strategic plan. I'm going to ask you to give us feedback when you get it. That's not going to everybody, just to those key people that really are stakeholders in Vision. I think you'll see that the plan is a good plan. We've prayed over it. We believe that God's given us some good insight. Again, the goal is to make sure we have accredited paths for students, but that we never lose the primary goal of what we're all about, which is taking the whole word to the whole world. Providing in multiple languages the curriculum necessary to equip God's people so they can effectively serve where God has planted them. The nations of the world are still desperate to have what we have. I mean, this is confirmed to us over and over and over again. I mean, there's a whole group of churches in Nicaragua. I plan on going with Joan down there to start, it'll be a network of Bible schools through just one denominational group in Nicaragua that touches Honduras, El Salvador, Cuba, etc. We just received information, more stuff on Myanmar, on Asia. God is just doing incredible things all over the world. And we know that our primary mandate, again, we're not Vision International University that has a lot of ministries. We're Vision International Education Services that has a network, and it has a university as a part of it. It's a key part because it does provide for about half of the income we need in order to function. The other half comes from generous givers like all of you, and especially in our end of year giving, it really lays the foundation to allow us to support these nations with their educational program. So hey, let's keep praying for each other. We're in the Christmas holiday season, which is kind of scary. It's just still September, but it's coming up on us. I mean, there's going to be a change of season here in the United States. There's a lot of crazy stuff happening in America in terms of politics, but as far as I can tell, Jesus is still Lord. And the kingdom of God is continuing to advance, and we are privileged to be a part of what God's doing. So praying for you, blessings to you, and we'll talk again soon.